I'm with it, 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 let's get it. You already know that I'm with it. We already know that she with it. You know that my squad, we gon' get it.
Welcome back to I'm With It Sports. I'm Jalen Green. Alongside me is Scooby and Tones.
What up, what up?
Fellas, how y'all doing today?
Man, I'm blessed, man. Another day above ground.
Right?
Dig?
Man, I'm just glad to talk about some sports.
I am too, man. Yo, it's a lot going on, yo. It's a lot happening.
We've been gone for a little bit, but we're all glad to be back.
Yeah, for
First
sure.
of all, I would like to thank all of our partners, Frame DE, Love Jones Production, Benson Built, most importantly, Jam 24/7.
Jam 24/7, baby.
If you need any audio, video, or live streaming, please come to Jam 24/7, located in Newark, Delaware.
93 Albee Drive, baby. Like, don't forget that. 93 Albee Drive.
Sweet D.
Sweet D.
They'll treat you like family out here.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
If you need more information, please go to www.jam247sound.com or call the number at 302-367-4647.
Call that number, man.
Right.
One day we're going to edit this and I'm going to just point down.
Yeah,
And then we'll
and that's
have
going to have it
like,
pop
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Right there. Yeah.
One thing at a time, though.
Right.
Not there yet,
Right.
but no, this is why I'm pointing. That's for
Right.
future.
We're on the budget.
Future.
We on the budget.
I mean,
Future
we on a
marks.
budget. Listen,
Yeah.
like we done upgraded though. Like we got a thing happening now.
You know what I'm
Like,
saying? We're not holding it.
We're not holding the
right
mics this
now.
week. Like, shout out to Jam 24/7 for
Right.
getting us straight, man. You know what I mean? Like, we really appreciate this.
Every week we getting better,
We getting
baby.
better and better, baby.
Improvement.
Yeah.
So y'all ready to get into this?
Let's get
Man,
into
let's go,
it.
baby.
Let's go into our
Let's
opening
go.
segment.
Let's
What's
go.
going on? This is where we just introduce, two things that's currently going on right now. And if it hasn't come out already, we should probably address that the NBA should be coming back on December 22nd. That means they'll have a total of 72 games. React.
So,
I'm gonna let my man go. Go ahead.
So, for those who don't know, I'm a Sixers fan. And, like, I'm not just a Sixers fan.
He's literally wearing Sixers paraphernalia right now.
I'm not just a Sixers fan.
Just for the
I
record.
am a Sixers lover. Like, I live and die to Sixers.
Can I
know
make this
why.
disclaimer? He is one of the original, a part of the process. Sam
Oh, yeah, I
Hinkie.
bought in. Day
Like
one.
so
And
he
he's
can
not
legitimately
scoring.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for that. Okay.
No, well, one of these days I'm gonna
Sure,
get
we
my.
can-
But I
my
just want like the
process
credibility.
right.
Like you've been there. You're
I've
not one of
been
those
there.
bandwagon.
I was
like,
watching
oh,
KJ McDaniels play
Wow.
against the Suns
Wow.
Hey,
and thinking about the future. Like that was where I was at.
Wow.
So when I say I was a
Kudos.
Sixers fan, I'm a Sixers fan for real.
Kudos.
And this is not a long enough offseason for me. I'm not emotionally ready to give 72 games right now.
Okay.
If y'all don't know, we lost and got swept by the Celtics in the first round. First round.
I mean, yeah.
Of the playoff. No. Look, we're not gonna excuse it. And I don't know if I'm ready yet to commit that much time. But when they said $600 million of a difference,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the
I got
collective
it.
bargaining
Like, yeah,
agreement being compromised with that.
cool. $600 million. I'm not gonna make up the difference. So
Absolutely not.
start when you got to, but starting that early comes with consequences.
For sure.
If you're a Lakers or a Heat fan, you're not real happy right now.
No.
LeBron James averaged over 40 minutes a game the last 5 games of the series. Jimmy Butler on one ankle was averaging 44 minutes a game throughout that playoffs. And they said, I believe it'll be 70 days
Yeah.
between the finals and the start of the season.
Yeah.
Now, my only rebut to that would be they had a couple months off in between. You know what I mean? So they had an opportunity to kind of. I don't think it's going to be that much of a drop off because they had that time. Had they not had, had they not had the time,
Come on now.
But I mean,
we
if
all
you're-
play sports.
for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to be that much of a drop off. And still, it's only 10 games less.
I mean, if you're looking at it though, this is very bad for like the Heat or Lakers. But if you're a Knicks fan, like you're probably excited for this
Oh,
because
you're
y'all been
licking
at
your
home
chops.
the whole time.
If you're the
That's
Suns,
exactly
you're
what I
licking your
was
chops.
saying. Yeah.
Even though Devin Booker says you want some.
Well, we might talk about that later.
Yeah,
But I mean, yeah, those types of teams are licking their chops. I think that I do think it's early. I do think it's early. I do agree that it's early. I do feel like
But-
maybe some more time, but
I wish there was a way they could stagger it, which is not possible because they're doing this for the Christmas game, right?
for sure,
That's what they're
absolutely.
doing
That's
this,
I mean
right?
that's the money
we're gonna
maker.
be honest,
yeah.
it's for
Yeah,
Christmas. But I wish there was a way they could stagger it where you have teams like the Lakers and the Heat, especially the Lakers because LeBron is getting older.
I mean,
Yeah.
Father
18 this is gonna be year 18.
Father Time is undefeated.
Was he
So,
36?
It's 36.
36.
Yeah, it's gonna be 30, yeah.
So if I'm LeBron, I wish they would stagger it where I got to play later. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? You started off maybe the first month of the season, you have most of the teams who are eliminated earlier playing more.
Maybe that would,
but they can't. They can't do that because I'm not watching the Knicks play.
Well, that's your
the
personal
Timberwolves
preference,
on
though.
Christmas,
right?
On
No,
Christmas, that's what I'm saying.
But I mean, there
do
are other teams that you can put in that slot that don't have to be the Knicks that are comparable NBA games.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
Who you putting in there?
But so, I mean, the Lakers don't have to
If
play
you take,
on
I mean,
Christmas.
but you take out the
about who
playoff
you-
teams though, like the bubble teams.
I'm not talking.
That's what
I'm
I'm
not even
saying,
talking
but-
about all the bubble teams because you can even look at some of the bubble teams that were eliminated early.
Well, I'm saying
You know what I
playoff
mean?
bubble teams. Playoff bubble teams. I'm not talking about the Suns.
No, I
or
mean,
anything
the
like that.
Suns is definitely hot right now. Yo, stop
Well,
hating on the
if
Suns.
they
But
keep-
I mean,
if they
keep
keep
them,
beating-
We got some other topics with the Suns.
I'm just saying.
As I said, we're not.
I mean, I can see though, like I can see some of the other teams though, like who got older players pulling like Coach
That's what
Pop
I'm
and
saying.
just sit out like your
Yeah,
better players.
shout out your better
Did you guys
players.
hear what LeBron said on the shop the other night?
I didn't. I haven't had a chance to watch it.
So he did a special episode with Barack right before
Yeah,
the
yeah,
election.
yeah,
that's all.
And he made a joke where he was like, I'm gonna just be cherry picking the first month of the season.
Hey.
And I have no problems.
no problem
LeBron's
with
very
that.
much hated on. That's a debate for another day. But I have no problem if for the first month or so for the season we see 2 years ago LeBron.
For
Where he
sure.
wasn't really playing that hard on defense, giving some days off. That groin, I would complain about my groin a lot, get some days off.
Oh man, I'm hurt.
I just hope if he does that, I hope the league don't trip and try to like fine him or
I don't
anything
think
like
they
that.
But here's the problem. So I said
Kawhi
that,
get
right?
They let Kawhi get away with it.
I said
they
that, but there's
always
the
say
difference.
he's hurt.
LeBron is the league. There's a difference.
Like you're
There's
not
a
coming
difference.
to a Lakers
That's
game without LeBron really
Yeah,
playing.
but
like, you know
now
what I
as
mean?
I say that, right, it's easy to say I hope he does that.
Right.
But then if you look at it from a historical standpoint, LeBron doesn't have that many years left, and he's trying to be the all-time leading scorer.
For sure. So he's
So
going
that
to
means
play.
he's got to play at a high enough level for a long enough time to do that.
Yeah.
So if you're assuming, let's say LeBron has 2 more years at a top 10, 12 player in the league level,
Yeah.
right? That means you can't miss these games.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're already
Yeah.
a shortened season. So let's say you play 60, you just got to average 25. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You can't go
Which
in.
he will. He's going to average 25.
But for how long? We don't know. Do you know what I'm saying? Because he's trying to get that record. It's a lot tougher.
I think what's going to end up happening is I just think he's going to continue to adapt his game. You know what I mean? Like the older he gets, the more wiser he gets, the more he spends on his body, the more he takes. You know what I mean? Like the more IQ starts to come into play. So I wouldn't scoff at seeing him down in the post a lot more in these last couple years. You know what I mean? Not banging in the post per se, right? But the smooth inside-out game, not as much pick and roll
I hope
action.
so. Yeah,
I
we'll
do
see.
too.
Right.
To be honest, because that's gonna
But he just doesn't want to be that. He's going to be the point guard.
He's
now,
gonna be
I
the
feel
point
like.
guard.
Yeah, but
Well, I agree
That's in
with
his-
you.
He's too.
He doesn't
he's too
want
smart,
it.
and
He
he's not gonna
doesn't
let
want
it.
that. He wants to be
he's
the point guard.
And they might lose Rondo, so he has to be the point guard.
He was already starting point guard.
he was already starting point guard.
But I'm
'Cause
saying
they were
though, like
starting
now
Avery
with you
Bradley.
losing another ball
they
handler,
cannot. For me,
he's definitely gonna be all.
if they lose Rondo, you got to bring in somebody like not over the
Another
top
old
good.
point
No, because
You
his
need
IQ,
somebody coming off the bench.
Yeah, that's going to be able to
who
run
can be
the
a
second.
playmaker for
Yes,
them.
that's going to be able to run the
But-
second
But
unit.
you guys, it depends on how much you're giving.
What's the
Anthony
money?
Davis.
What's the money?
Right, get
You
the
know what I
money.
mean?
Get Jared Dudley's get him out of there. Like, make some room.
But he wasn't making real money.
That's
He's not making
a
real
difference
money.
money-wise.
He's not making real
And
money.
Jared
but
Dudley, good locker room guy.
good locker room guy.
You need
but it's
those
time to
type
go.
of vets right now.
You got LeBron. I think you're all right.
LeBron is hard.
Listen,
You
Hard
got
to play
LeBron.
for.
All I say-
He's only as hard to play for as you make it hard to play for. You know what I mean? Because again, if somebody is a player of that caliber is going to expect excellence and greatness all the time. Period.
I mean-
there's no room for error with Jordan. There's no room for error. So even
But Steve Kerr punched him in the face for a reason. Like, you see what I'm saying?
But
I mean,
nobody has ever put their hands on LeBron, which speaks to how much of a leader he actually is. Kyrie can say whatever he wants. He ain't swing on him.
well, and he ain't been to a finals since
That's-
that too. So
Whole
you know
conversation.
our
So-
opinion on Kyrie.
So old man LeBron, listen, just
Yeah.
cherry pick the first month.
Cherry
I ain't
pick,
gonna
do
be
you,
mad
bro?
at you.
We ain't mad at it.
Speaking of other old men, let's go ahead and hop into the NFL real quick and let's do this mid-year review. Some of these quarterbacks who you were calling old, I mean, he's still out here winning.
Yeah,
Who
so
else
I
was on
brought this
top
topic.
rated?
Hold up. We did our meeting, for those who don't know. We did our meeting. We did a little call.
I say
And I
Thomas White?
specifically
Yeah,
put
you
this
did.
topic in.
I said
Because
Thomas
in
White?
our first
You ain't say he was.
Our
Okay,
first
I was about to say,
podcast. No,
like-
I'm gonna say exactly what you said.
You
So
got
our
me.
first podcast
We looked it up.
happened right after Tampa lost to the Bears.
Okay.
So somebody came in a little cocky that day and said Tom Brady's looking a little cliffish. And I was like, oh,
Was
that's
he not in that game, though?
But you can't. Oh, come on now. You know that's not how this works. You don't take a one-game sample size. You said the words. He was looking a little cliffish.
He did look a little cliffish in the game. He was missing throws. You know what I mean? Even though there was some drop balls. But that don't mean that, and you know it. There was mad no, that doesn't mean that. But I said he looked cliffish. I will stand by what I said. In that game, he looked cliffish. Where's the cameras at? I will say it a million times. He looked cliffish. Now he's a stud. Now look at all the. They had to develop chemistry.
Face, right?
You can have the face all you want. You can have it all you want. He looked cliffish. Okay. He didn't look like the Tom Brady that we're used to seeing.
He had a bad game.
Okay. Cliffish.
Oh,
so a bad game can make you look cliffish, and then you can rebound. Like Lamar looked crazy. Has looked crazy these past couple games. Has he not?
But you ain't coming in here today saying he's cliffish, do you?
But that's a different thing. He's not 40 years old either.
Real quick. The Ravens had like over 200 yards rushing, more than the Steelers. They had like more passing yards. And they still lost.
Yo.
So when it comes to the top teams, Pittsburgh defense is nasty. It's been nasty.
That's what's going on. Yeah, that's what's going on. Defense is going on.
Bro, Travis Fulgham lit him up, but you know.
He did. They still lost.
Tampa 150. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, listen,
it happened.
Nobody can stop him. Bro,
I mean, again, say Claypool also killed us too.
I don't know what you're talking about.
4 tutties, like easily.
We're not a dominant defense, though. That's what we're not talking about the same thing. Come on now, stay on subject.
Stay on
topic. So we know Pittsburgh because 7-0. You have to give them, the credit.
Okay.
I mean, you don't have to.
Because I definitely think that the Chiefs are the number one team.
I didn't say they were number one. I said they're one of the top teams.
Okay, for sure.
I didn't say they were number one. But who would be your number one team?
So, all right.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you go
for the mid-year review right now.
Chiefs for me.
Chiefs
are playing.
Who you got?
Chiefs are playing the best. To me, the best. Well, of course, they're going to have the offensive package. But
defense is top 5.
Defense is definitely top 5. Like, they're playing the best all-around football. They just, again, had a game, had a mishap, which was a game that they could have won. You know what I mean?
And that was 2 weeks ago against Oakland?
Yeah. And Oakland, to Oakland's credit, Oakland is playing solid football right now. Those of you that are not watching Oakland, you need to watch the Oakland Raiders. They're playing solid football.
Don't watch that.
So for me, it's the Chiefs. Number one team.
For me, only because I just like the energy he's playing with this year, I would say the Packers with Aaron Rodgers.
See,
only because,
I got them a lot further down. So I'm going to give y'all a little tiers list. Make your explanation.
Okay.
Well, I mean, again, it's early, but outside of the Tampa game where he looked like really bad.
And in Minnesota,
which I didn't expect, but I don't think anybody expected Dalvin Cook to put up 4 touchdowns.
Dalvin Cook had like a whole Bo Jackson game.
Yeah, like this man looked like
he had a Tecmo
he was on
Bowl.
a contract year.
Yeah, he had a Tecmo Bowl moment. Yeah,
yeah. And with the conditions too, and with them not having running backs and stuff like that, and it was a bad game.
Okay.
But the way he's playing, I feel like he has a chip on his shoulder. And he's outside of the Tampa game where that
drafted that quarterback. That's why.
Yeah, and honestly, that Tampa defensive front 7 don't get talked about a lot. And
not enough.
It's a bunch of old veterans on that.
I was about to say,
but they get after people though.
Sure.
But outside of that game, he's been looking great.
So you're giving your top team in the league to the Packers right now, or just
yes, because I don't believe in Tampa Bay long term. And the Chiefs. Well, no, the thing with the Chiefs that
who's stopping the Chiefs in that in the playoffs? Who is seeing the Chiefs, bro?
I get that. I just something about it where I was like, sooner or later it's gonna stop. It has to stop.
I just don't. Unless Tyreek Hill gets hurt, please do not get hurt.
Cherry's on my fantasy team. Relax.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't want to pick the Chiefs because you already picked.
Right. Of course. Okay.
So I'm gonna come at this a little different. I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of a tiers, right?
Okay.
So there are clear tiers in this league, right? So you can go, the worst tier is by itself is the New York Jets. You know what I'm saying? They're a MAC football team. That's a
team.
They're the worst tier by itself. Then right above, you got to say the NFC East as a whole.
As a whole, yeah.
Well,
I don't even want to talk about
You know,
that.
we're not
We're
gonna
not.
go there.
We're not. Don't worry.
And then as we rise up, I start to differentiate teams by who's the most whole, right?
Okay.
So when you tell me something about the Green Bay Packers like you did, I look at that run defense and I say, it's more than 1 week now that run defense has been bad. You know what I'm saying?
Why are you tripping? Hold on.
That run defense has been
I
bad.
should have picked a different team, but
Okay.
it's fine.
Sorry.
I think he's gonna pick them, so I'm gonna let him.
So I put them a little lower. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
When I look at a team like Kansas City, I see Kansas City. I'm like, it's hard to. They're the champs. So in my mind, until you beat the champs, it's kind of hard to. So they're in a different tier to
For
me.
sure.
You know what I'm saying? They're in a tier
I agree with that.
by themselves.
Yeah,
so,
I agree.
But for me, the best team in the league right now is Seattle.
That's the team.
So the reason why I'm saying
thought
this
about
is
that too.
now Seattle have a glaring weakness, which I think they hopefully address. They cannot rush the passer.
Right.
Right. But they just went out and they got Carlos Dunlap
Dunlap.
from
Yeah,
Cincinnati.
yeah, I saw that.
And what people are forgetting is, yes, their defense is bad right now, but that's because of their big acquisition from this offseason hasn't played.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Jamal Adams.
Jamal Adams, I'm sorry.
Jamal
Yeah.
Adams.
So
hasn't played.
he hasn't
so
played,
he
you're right.
played game 1 and then he had a groin injury.
He got hurt, yeah.
So game 1, Atlanta put up points against them, but that's Atlanta. Atlanta is a very strong offense.
Putting up points, non-winning team.
Ever. But
Poor
when
Matt
I look
Ryan.
at Russell Wilson, him and Patrick Mahomes are on a level that is so high that does it matter that their defense isn't that great?
No, it doesn't,
I would
yeah.
now, to be fair though, watching some Seattle games, I couldn't be a fan of Seattle.
Right.
Because every week their
to the wire.
games are to the they don't know how to win a game easily, which I
right.
believe going into the future may hurt them. But we're talking
and that's
mid-season.
defense, though. Yeah, and a lot
We're
of that's
talking
defense, though.
mid-season
Defensive.
review. I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah,
saying
for
this
sure.
is my
Right now.
Super Bowl team. This is just saying I have the Chiefs on a level that I don't even count them.
Yeah.
And then I believe that their offense is so great, it makes up for their lacking on defense more than it does for Green Bay.
Right.
Green Bay has one receiver.
Right.
Yeah.
They have one receiver.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's
Devontae
easier to guard.
Right.
Right. And their O-line,
Right.
You know, Aaron Rodgers is
Give or
getting a
take.
little older. He doesn't like to get hit.
Right.
Like
And
most
he's not
old
running all
quarterbacks
over the
are.
place.
He's not running like
he's
he
not gonna
used
be as
to.
mobile. Yeah,
so
for sure.
he's shown you hit him,
Yeah.
he'll
Yeah.
get rattled.
For sure.
And I don't trust that supporting cast around Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones. You know, you got a great running back, you got a great receiver, and then you got guys.
So what's crazy is I'm kicking myself for not thinking of them, and I like as soon as you said it, I was like, dang, because the next segment I have him as my number one, which leads in. So our next segment is called Who You Got.
Okay.
And this segment is where me and the fellas pick a top 5 of a position for any league, and we're gonna stick with the NFL right
sure.
now.
Let's stick
But
with it.
before we do that, hold on. I want to say what the impetus for this topic is. So, who you got? We will be comparing our top 5s per position group, whether it's the NFL, NBA, baseball. If we get some soccer people on
sure,
here,
for sure.
some soccer heads,
Premier League, baby.
you know what I'm saying? Whoever those people are, I don't know.
Got some
But
soccer guys out there. Right.
what it is when you're having conversations, it's really easy to say, "Oh, he top 5 for sure, for
Yeah.
sure, for
Yeah,
sure."
yeah.
We got
We gotta
45
really look at
people in
this.
the NBA
Yeah.
who are top 5. I don't
Yeah.
understand.
So-
Same thing for the NFL.
So this is where we're gonna handle that
All right.
right there.
Let's get to
But
it.
so
Definitive.
today we're gonna do top quarterbacks right now. As of
get
right
to
now.
it.
And that's why I kicked myself, because I was like, I definitely have Russell Wilson right now as my number one.
Jay, give us your whole list, bro. Who you got where?
So number 1, Russell Wilson.
Okay.
Number 2, I have Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
Number 3, I have Aaron Rodgers right now.
Okay.
Number 4, because of how he's playing, it was kind of a toss-up. I'm giving it to Tom right now,
Okay.
even though he's been shaky.
That's high. That's high.
But he was lower, but it was.
I understand.
But honestly,
Wins
from,
are wins, though.
from
You can't
4
take
to
away
like
wins
are
from 4 to
wins.
10 it's been very shaky because Matt
Wins are
Stafford's
wins,
hurt.
right.
Like, you know what I mean? Every Big Ben, to me, he hasn't really won the games. It was the defense that
If
won
you
the
saw
games.
him in Tennessee.
Yeah, he was terrible.
I mean, yeah, we
Ryan
seen
Tannehill, he's up and down.
Right.
My number,
That was 4.
That was
you said
4.
4, right?
My number
You might-
5 might shock some people, but Deshaun Watson.
No, that
And
doesn't
that's
shock me.
bad.
And that's
I
only
feel
because
bad for Deshaun Watson. Free Deshaun Watson.
And that's only
Free my boy
because if
Deshaun,
you look
man.
at Deshaun's stats, he's top 10 and in passing yards right now, top 10 in touchdowns, and I don't even know who he's throwing it to because Will Fuller, you can't rely on him.
Disrespect my man Will Fuller.
But I mean, but that's depending on how that depends on how long his groin or his hamstring hold up.
Fuller.
Brandon Cooks hasn't been the same since Malcolm Jenkins knocked the Sonic rings out of him during the Super Bowl.
For sure.
So like who?
It's
and then
been different.
I mean, who got David Johnson? But like David Johnson haven't been David Johnson since he messed up his wrist. So. And the fact that, Bill O'Brien came in and pulled a Chip Kelly on them and got rid of his favorite receiver and top receiver for no reason. Till this day, I don't think no one really knows.
And DeAndre Hopkins is just playing happier.
Yeah, and he's still
playing happier.
And all those QBs right now, if it came out to a shootout, 80% of the offense is going through most of them or more.
For sure. Yeah.
So if you knock any of those 5 out, that's their season right there. And that's why they're my top 5 right now.
Right. Okay.
Who you got, Scoob?
All right. It's going to actually flip-flop a little bit from you.
Yeah.
I got Patty Mahomes at 1.
Okay.
Russ at 2. I got Aaron Rodgers, definitely at 3. I got Deshaun at 4.
Okay. See what I'm saying? Like that.
All right. Nah. So for me.
I thought you going. Don't say Ben DiNucci.
No. Definitely not. First of all, let me tell you something about what he's doing to our team. Like
He's not even starting.
Bro.
No, he's not. But I would say if I had to choose a number 5, I'm going to say because, again, he's been a great game manager, I'm going to give it to Ben, yo.
Big Ben?
Right now, yeah, I'm going to give it to Ben. He's been a great game. Like Tennessee, outside of Tennessee, give me a bad game.
Give me a great game.
He doesn't need to have a great game, though.
Too.
He doesn't need to have a great game, though.
Okay, but when you're talking about a quarterback who last year was out and that team still went 8-8 with Duck Hodges and Mason Rudolph.
Great coaching, too. It's great.
So how do I put that on Big Ben coming back?
They went 8-8, though. It's not like they went 13 and, you know what I mean?
But you gave them a competent quarterback. And last year they had the Le'Veon Bell. They were still getting over the Le'Veon Bell and AB situations. Sure. And you lose your quarterback week 2.
But they've already won 7 games, though. You know what I mean?
So that shows if you give him competent quarterback play, that team was good enough to go.
You got to be a little bit more than competent to run that team.
I'm watching him play. He's a competent quarterback play. He's not blowing me away.
But they're 7-0.
I'm not discrediting the team.
Yeah.
They're playing very well. But I'm saying they look better than they looked at 8-8 because they have a quarterback they can trust now compared to Doug Hodges.
No, it's not only even they can trust. He's been there. Like he's won a Super Bowl or 2.
Yeah.
Won 2.
But I'm saying, but that doesn't discredit the fact that you got T.J. Watt and Bud Dupree coming off the edge on the other side and Minka Fitzpatrick at safety.
Look at the draw, baby.
But that doesn't make him better than what he is.
He still has to go out and produce.
I agree. Yeah. I'm not saying he's a bum, but I'm not saying he's top 5.
He's throwing having 4 touchdown games to Claypool.
But I'm watching the games, and what I'm saying is when I'm watching the games, I'm not seeing Big Ben.
Somebody's got to throw it. Somebody's got to catch it.
I'm not seeing Big Ben take over ball games.
Okay.
If you're a top 5 quarterback in the league, I need you to take over ball games.
Let me hip you to something. Okay. Right. DK Metcalf is taking over games, not necessarily Russell Wilson.
Hold on. You could go that way, right? You could try to say that.
Right,
you could try to say that.
That's
going into last week, who's the leading receiver on that team?
That's cool.
Who's the leading receiver? Because you're saying he's taking over games, but I'm telling you right now.
The DK Metcalf situation?
No,
it's still not the same team.
No, because he wasn't the number 1 receiver on that team.
It's not the same team.
Tyler Lockett, statistically, is the number 1 receiver on that team.
But he doesn't have to be the number 1 receiver on the team.
Yeah.
Listen, he doesn't have to be the number one receiver on the team to be the most effective receiver on the team. Tyler Lockett has volume, bro.
He's taking advantage of his opportunities. When you have Russell Wilson throwing it into the bucket, yeah, it's really good. I'm glad DK Metcalf can do more than run a fly route now. I'm glad he's able to do that.
Bro.
But when you have Russell Wilson dropping the ball out of the sky into your hands, it's a lot easier.
My only thing with that, my only thing with Big Ben, like I said with my top 5, like if you knock out Big Ben, I think I could find another game manager.
You might.
Because of the defense.
Does that make you top 5?
You might.
Only because the defense showed me last year
yeah, for sure.
that they can do it.
But it's not guaranteed.
But my thing is, if you knock out Patrick Mahomes. That's it. Like,
But they don't have even a comparable backup.
There's no such thing as a comparable backup in the NFL. There's no
Well,
such thing.
then there you go.
There's
So
no such
that's
thing.
what I'm saying.
But
So if
what
you
I'm
knock out any quarterback, any starter on any team, they're not. They're most of the time they're not gonna listen. Foles is an outlier. Foles is an outlier.
Pretty sure one won a chip.
I mean, that's an outlier.
Kurt Warner.
Kurt Warner, yeah, for sure. Kurt Warner, but those are extreme outliers.
So I'm gonna give you my list, and I'm gonna give you my criteria beforehand, because I want you to understand exactly what I'm saying.
Okay.
Every starting quarterback in the league, if you're in one of the best teams in your division, is irreplaceable. Every top quarterback is irreplaceable, right? Because you're starting in the NFL for a reason. That's every team in the league, though.
Right.
I would say that too. But there are some quarterbacks where they make their team better than what it is.
For sure.
So when I say I want a top 5 quarterback, I want him to elevate the team around him. And when I say elevate, I don't mean go from a 10 to 11 win team. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that without him, this team is cliffish. Do you see what I'm saying? So this is what I'll say. My number 1 quarterback in the league, Patrick Mahomes.
All right.
Okay, Patrick Mahomes is a special talent.
sure.
What he does there is insane, right?
Just half a bill.
Yeah, there's a reason he got the money he got, right? So that's just undisputable.
Right.
Number 2 quarterback in the league is Russell Wilson.
For sure.
Because you could talk all you want to about DK Metcalf.
For sure.
But that defense is bad enough that if there is no Russell Wilson,
for sure,
that team is not competitive. And you can give DK Metcalf a lot of credit. He's a physical specimen. I'm glad he's developed.
Yeah, you have to.
But there's a reason he was drafted where he was drafted, late in the 2nd round. Because people saw his ability to run and get out of breaks in his routes, and they were not impressed. He was stiff on the hips. That is what it is. Has he improved? Yes.
Sure.
But last year, if you watch DK Metcalf tape, he was a go ball. That was it. And he had Russell Wilson helping him develop.
Sure.
You understand what I'm saying? So
Good
I
quarterbacks
give
do that.
a lot of that development credit to Russell Wilson. Do you understand? And his hard work. I'm not taking away anything DK Metcalf has done to improve himself.
For sure. But you can accredit that to the system that he came out of in college, too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the development has to, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, there's something wrong in Ole Miss because him and A.J. Brown.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying.
Yes,
so it's like, But to your point, I definitely
the development is clearly
I definitely, for sure.
Start. You know what I'm saying? He made Tyler Lockett from who the hell was Tyler Lockett to Tyler Lockett.
Like,
but who the hell was Antonio Brown?
But again, we can go into that. But
and we're talking about top 5.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, I'm saying, but you're saying,
I'm not saying Ben Roethlisberger is a bad
but
quarterback.
we're saying now. But we're saying now.
Yeah. Like, he's not right. He's not in your top 5 because he's not elevating the team to a point where if he gets taken off this team, you guys feel like they could still be a playoff team.
We're not talking about Super Bowl winning when he was slinging it,
for sure.
playing
I'm not talking about the pass in the back of the end zone to San Antonio Holmes.
I just don't. That's me. I just don't. So that's cool.
So my number 3, I have to go right now with Aaron Rodgers. At the level of play he's playing at right now, I feel like year 2 in this offensive system, he's really comfortable. You can see he's running the audibles a lot better. They're giving him the freedom he deserves as a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Shout out to their relationship, him and Matt LaFleur.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
The growth of their relationship. Because Aaron Rodgers is not an easy personality.
No, he's not.
You know what I'm saying? So for them to grow that relationship, I'm very impressed.
I like that,
And he's definitely number 3.
They still trash for not giving them help, though, but whatever.
We'll go with that another day. That's
a rant. That's a rant.
Number 4, I'm going to go with Tom Brady.
Okay.
What Tom Brady has done this year is insane. Before I say my number 5 spot, it says a lot about what's going on this year that you don't have a Lamar Jackson who's the MVP of the league in any of our top 5. Whatever's going on with Lamar, something's missing this year. I don't know what it is. Something's missing. His accuracy is definitely digressed. And I hope he gets it fixed. You know, they're still winning games. It's not. You can look at it and he's not passing the eye test.
For sure.
For anybody.
For sure.
My number 5 quarterback, though, going in, I'm going to surprise a lot of you. I'm going to say Kyler Murray.
You want to know what?
Honestly, not really. I wouldn't say surprise.
I'm saying surprise because some people would say it's a little high.
It's a little high.
It's a little early,
It's
right?
a little high.
But I'm seeing his will to win football games.
Right.
He doesn't always look great. No quarterback's always going to look great. And that's the problem with fans. Everybody expects people to be great and perfect all the time.
I just want to put on record that Antonio just totally contradicted himself on this podcast. But that's fine.
No.
It's cool.
No. Let me finish what I'm saying.
Go ahead.
Let me finish what I'm saying.
Go ahead.
So there are moments he doesn't look great, right? Dallas, he blew y'all out and completed 9 passes. I
sure.
mean, like he didn't have to
he
do
didn't have
much.
to do that.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. When I'm saying he doesn't always look great, that's what I mean.
He blew y'all out. Yeah,
blew y'all out 9 passes. Right?
Go ahead, so throw salt in the wound. Cool.
So, but what I'm saying is when it is money time, it's not that defense that is elevating them. When it is money time, it is Kyler Murray running, throwing, doing whatever it takes to win the ball game.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And he's doing it still at a high level. When I say he's not perfect and he's not great, I'm saying he goes from really, really great to great.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? He goes from spectacular, oh my God, how did he make that throw?
Right.
And when he's off, it's like, okay, that's a good throw.
That's a good
you know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying like he's falling off of a cliff.
For sure.
So you're not my number 5 quarterback, and your ebbs and flows are that dramatic. What I'm saying is he's my number 5 quarterback because at his top, he's up there with those greats. And at his bottom, he's still doing whatever it takes to win.
And people thought that because of his height that he wasn't going to be able to have this production.
Exactly.
So I'm happy about that. I would have had him maybe about 6 or 7, but I totally understand why he would be in your 5.
And like I said,
he's deserving of that. You know what I mean?
And like I said, from 5 to 10, because we're just going off of right now.
Yeah.
Like just right now, it's very shaky.
Yeah.
Like it depends on
100%,
what happens
100%.
this week, what happens next week, or whatever.
10 solid quarterbacks right now. Like,
Can't. Well,
I
mean, you can name 10 solid, but like at the same time, like each
But
week
there's
they could
clear
shuffle.
tiers.
Yeah,
It's
it's
clear
clear.
tiers,
Yeah, it's
yes.
definitely clear. It's
And
definitely
the New York Jets have none of them.
I don't blame Sam Darnold. We're not going to go into that, but I don't blame Sam
I don't.
Darnold.
Yeah, I don't
know,
fully say
no,
right.
but
I
you
don't
already
fully blame
know.
Sam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
From our last episode with the hot seats, we already know that's not his fault.
It's not his fault. But yeah,
but
for
right now, due to the situation, it's not looking good.
Not looking good. Not looking good for Sam.
For sure.
All right, so we ready for our next segment?
Yep.
I'm very excited about this segment. The next segment we're doing is called Wish I Could.
I wish I could.
So each week when we do this segment, one of us will become the general manager for a sports team and say what I wish I could do if I had the money, the ability to make this team
I'm excited
great.
to hear this.
So this week is me.
Now, I'm about to say, be mindful when we do this segment, we're going to try to be as realistic as possible. So don't expect us saying that the New York Knicks are going to land LeBron James. Like, you know what I mean?
Farm on everything. Like,
Right. Like, and they have
everybody.
crazy money that they could spend.
And
It's
when
going
I
to be
say
realistic.
successful, I mean successful for that team.
For that team.
Exactly.
So for
Agreed.
some teams, it might be, all right, we go from the worst team in the league to we're contending for
a playoff
playoff
spot.
spot.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
For a playoff team, it's now how do we get to the finals?
How do we get to the
For a
finals?
finals contender, it's how do we win the chip?
Exactly.
All right,
Gotcha.
so this week,
Gotcha.
if you can't tell from my quarter zip,
I knew it.
I am the general manager of the Philadelphia 76ers.
We are,
Okay, so Daryl Morey just got hired and fired in 4 days, guys. They took a look around the market and said Antonio Gibson is the man for the job. All right, and as a diehard Sixers fan who understands what it took to get from the process to where we are now, I looked at the roster, guys, and
Al Horford's going. We already know
look,
that.
I looked
We
at the
already know
roster, and I wanted to be realistic about this. Okay, so we're in a bad spot. We're in a bad spot because you got a lot of money put into a lot of contracts of guys who may or may not fit. Al Horford does not fit. Tobias Harris may fit, but does not fit at that cap spot and does not fit in the role he's in.
Does not fit in the role, right.
You have Ben Simmons, who does fit with Joel, but they don't have the right pieces around him. So I looked around and said, what can I do to make this team better? I fired up the old trade machine, and I did some trading.
Oh, okay.
So the first thing I did was I made a trade for Devin Booker. News came out this week that the Sixers weren't interested in going after James Harden, and I said I wanted a younger, in my opinion, better version of James Harden. I said it.
And that is
I
Devin Booker.
believe that Devin Booker is a better player than James Harden.
Listen,
okay,
this man dropped 71
that's
points.
we got barbershop hot takes coming up after this. That's not my hot take because I believe it's just a real take.
No,
you understand what I'm saying?
I can't even
So
argue.
this is
I want to so bad, but I can't.
Gotta take it.
Gotta just take that, right?
Take that.
So the impetus of this trade came from what you
Shout out
said
to Devin
earlier.
Booker.
Is Devin Booker? Ryan Russillo came out on the Bill Simmons podcast the other day and said it's the worst kept secret in the NBA that Devin Booker wants out of Phoenix.
Yeah.
2018, Devin Booker went out and said this is going to be my last year missing the playoffs. Well,
Yeah.
he then missed the playoffs the next 2 years.
Yep.
So I do believe In his mind, he can be had.
Right.
Of course, everybody knows he wants to play with his brothers, Karl Anthony Towns and D'Angelo Russell, but screw them. Come to Philly. And this is what my trade is. So I traded Josh Richardson and Ben Simmons to Phoenix.
Okay.
To Phoenix. This is a 3-team trade involving the Suns, the Sixers,
I was about to say,
and the Bulls.
3 teams.
Okay? So Josh Richardson, Ben Simmons, and Lauri Markkanen are going to the Suns.
Okay.
Otto Porter and Devin Booker
are
coming to the Sixers.
That's realistic.
And then going to the Bulls is my guy,
right?
Al Horford.
And Tobias, please.
No,
you keeping Tobias?
Keeping Tobias and some picks. So my thought process is this. I believe Tobias Harris can fit this system. Because now I want you to think about what our new starting lineup will be.
Right.
My new starting lineup is Shake Milton and or veteran point guard. I want to go out and sign DJ Augustine. That's my first free agent acquisition. So I would probably start DJ Augustine at my point. I have starting at shooting guard Devin Booker. I have starting at small forward Otto Porter Jr., 3-and-D whiz. I got starting at my 4 spot Tobias Harris, and I have starting at center Joel Embiid. So I have 4 guys who are 40% 3 guys who are 40% 3-point shooters starting on my bench. Oh, also going to, sadly, I forgot one part. Also, to sweeten the deal for Chicago, I had to get rid of Matisse Thybulle.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'm about to say, I feel like you're missing someone.
I had to get rid
sure.
of Matisse Thybulle.
Okay.
I got a little ahead of myself. Let me finish the trade. So Matisse Thybulle, Al Horford to Chicago.
Okay.
And then I had the Sixers giving up their 2 very valuable second-round picks from this year. They're top of the second round.
For sure.
Going to Chicago. Going to Phoenix would be Lauri Markkanen, Josh Richardson, Ben Simmons, the 2020 OKC first-round pick. The 2021 Sixers first-round pick. The 2023 Sixers first-round pick, because you are not allowed to trade first-round picks in back-to-back years that are yours. But they can trade this year's 2020 pick without penalty because it was Oklahoma City's
pick,
first-round pick. So you're getting 3 first-round picks. You're getting an all-star, all-defensive player who would probably want to be there more than more than Devin Booker and Ben Simmons. You're getting Josh Richardson, another lockdown defender. That team is what it is. You know, you got to build. And Lauri Markkanen.
So my only questions to you, or my only things to you, I do like to trade for everybody because everyone looks like it fits their situation.
They definitely bring value to
one, remind me, Josh Richardson has 1 more year, right?
1 more year, $10 million.
Okay, so that's an easy flip.
Movable.
For that. Yeah.
And I believe there's a team option after this.
So my only 2 problems with that I can really see. I mean, it's a great trade, honestly, and you clear the books or whatever.
Clear the books, yeah.
Hopefully they're watching it, so they probably not. But if
if y'all make this move, y'all better pay my man.
Yeah, I'm about to say. But my only concerns about this is the bench, because now you're getting rid of like Matisse. But obviously we would go into depth if you told me who the free agencies you'll pick up.
Right.
But like you said, because you said DJ Augustine, but you still need.
So this is my philosophy. Okay, I'm building a team for the playoffs. I'm not building a team for the regular season. No. So when you talk about bench, we're going 8 deep in the playoffs. Okay, coming off my bench would be Shake Milton. I still have a Furkan Korkmaz coming off of my bench. So I got 2 shooters right there.
Right.
And then you fill in the blank with a backup center.
No, I mean, I get you for that. That's not the reason why I'm saying for the bench. The regular season, no one cares about the regular season. Anyway.
Those guys are strong enough talents to win games in regular season.
You're gonna make the playoffs, especially how the East is. My thing was more for the bench because Otto Porter is known to get hurt a lot. Joel, he's gonna miss a couple of games. Devin Booker, he had his injuries and stuff before.
He's good to tweak an ankle or a hamstring.
So my thing is more of when playoff time come, do you have people, if they're out for that little 2 weeks where they might miss 2-3 games, are you going to have the right people in place? Like a DJ Augustine would be good for a Shake Milton.
So Jalen, you know this about me. Philosophically, when I talk about building basketball teams, as you tell, I'm getting a little hot on camera. I'm sweating.
Get that man in town.
The thoughts is just burning through my head.
Sorry.
So when we talk about my philosophy for building any type of team, for those who don't know, I'm a head lacrosse coach.
Right.
I'm a believer in potential.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Absolutely.
So when it comes to my bench, I want young guys.
Yeah.
I want young guards. I want guys who are not necessarily ready, but I see can develop. Does that make sense? So when I'm talking about bench, I don't want to spend a lot in free agency on my bench. First off, we can't afford to because you have 3 guys still on that roster making $30 million, right?
Yeah. Right.
So that's unlikely. 4 guys technically with Otto Porter for the 1 year.
Yeah.
But what I want is I want the second round picks, the later second round pick guys. I want the guys that Daryl Morey finds, like PJ Tucker, who was out there in Serbia somewhere. And then he brought him in and started doing what he does. I wanted to leave the bench open, and I really go into discussing that on purpose because I want to have you got to work the margins in the NBA. Yeah. It's very important, especially once you get your stars, because your stars are taking up your cap.
And that's fine. That was just my only thing that I saw wrong with it. It's just more of because we don't know who the bench is and because of the history of their injuries. Yeah. That would be that would be my only worry.
I trust Doc Rivers, and for those who don't know, he brought in an amazing staff: Sam Cassell, Dave Yeager, a lot of guys. A lot of guys.
Up 1-08.
Right.
A lot of guys. And what I believe, sir, it's my segment. Right. My segment. I'm reclaiming my segment. We're talking about the Celtics. We ain't talking about the Celtics
at all.
Okay? Don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it.
At all. Sorry. Go ahead.
So I believe those guys can really develop some younger players. Sam Cassell has been credited for the work he did with Bradley Beal in Washington, and Bradley Beal credits him for a lot of the developments he made. Yeah. So when I look at a Sam Cassell, I believe he can take Shake Milton to that next level. Whatever that next level is for Shake Milton, whether that is just getting stronger, a slightly better handle, and he's a shooter who can be a secondary ball handler, that's fine. You got Devin Booker. We're going to be honest, Devin Booker's going to have the ball in his hand a lot. Yeah. Between Devin Booker and Joel Embiid, they're your hubs of your offense. And then you have Tobias. You let him run a little bit of high pick and roll, let him get downhill, get some mismatches. Tobias Harris is a 20-point game scorer. He is just not suited to be your second best ball handler.
And here's the thing, though. Tobias, his best portion of his career was with Doc.
He was almost an all-star with Doc.
Yeah, he was almost an all-star. So, he was. Yeah, I mean, like, it'll be
if you're
going
to keep anybody,
he knows the system. It'll be better for him. I just think that,
I would say this. I like the part because at least you kept Joel.
There's no shot I'm getting rid of Joel.
Yeah, I'm more of a, if you want to win now, he's the guy.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely the piece. He's definitely the piece that
Simmons,
you have to have.
I think, is the bigger question mark of the two. I love him both.
I feel like Ben is gone. I feel like they're going to get rid of Ben.
I don't think Daryl Morey comes in and trades either one of them this year.
Yeah,
so in his introductory
next year for sure.
Like in his introductory press conference, he said something very important. He said most of the time, the right trade is not the right now trade.
Right.
So
for sure. Yeah.
It's the trade that takes forever to make.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I need them to genuinely put the pieces they feel could definitely benefit the Joel and Ben Simmons system around them. And if it does not work, reevaluate from there. But I don't want to go into this all season unless you're giving me a Devin Booker.
Yeah. Which, of course, GM.
In this situation, was the case.
Right.
Unless you're giving me a Devin Booker, I don't want to give rid of a Ben Simmons' potential without first seeing what those two can do when properly, managed. Because besides their first year in the league, they haven't had a supporting cast that was built for them. Yeah. First year together in the league, they won 50 games, won a playoff series in 5 against a tough Miami team, and Ben Simmons was dominant in that series. People can't forget. He dominated that series. Yeah. And then they've ran into a veteran Boston team and lost a lot of close games. It's not like Boston came in and blew them out like they did this offseason, like this past season. So you got to put these guys with players around them that benefit them.
To be honest, the closest they ever got to getting a decent supporting cast around them was the Toronto Bounce. And really, honestly,
that was the best team.
Not dreams.
Yeah, but in reality, if it wasn't for that bounce, they would have been in the final.
What are you talking about? We're not going there, but no.
They would have shot. They would have still basically shot Charlotte.
No.
But
not with that.
Joel was not having his way. He just doesn't. I can go on Joel Embiid all day,
and
bro.
that's a segment on another topic.
That's another
but no, I like that. Wish I could.
Yeah. But no, that's dope though. I really do think that. I mean, the moves that you made would definitely benefit the team. There are definitely some holes in that, some question marks. But I think that overall, in building a team, for sure, that would definitely be the way to kind of go. Because I feel like it allows two things. It allows the growth and the development of those young players, and it allows you to win right now. You know what I mean? So you have the opportunity.
I think that's a championship contending team right now.
It could be. It could
Genuinely,
be.
I do.
It could be. Yeah, it could be. With those pieces, with that starting five, bench aside, If you can run those 5 to run them in the ground, yes.
Well, that and I was say, and with the East the way it is now,
Who's guarding Joel
and
Embiid in the East here?
like you can't double
You can't double.
because you can't double team.
You can't double because you have 40% 3-point shooters all around the arc.
So here's my thing.
So what are you doing? How
I mean,
you doubling?
I mean, you can still double them until they start making them. You know what I mean? Like,
Wait.
that's still gonna,
But
that's still gonna be a
are you
question.
counting on Devin Booker to not make him? Who are you counting on to not make him in that situation?
I mean, Devin Booker's probably one of the only people that I am really counting on. Like that, Tobias Harris 20 a game.
He's a 40% 3-point shooter.
That's cool.
You're looking at Tobias Harris from his contract. I'm not looking at Tobias from his contract. I'm looking at Tobias from his results.
Well,
okay, so his results show me that as a third or fourth option as a scorer, because you got to think about it. You're not going into that game saying we have to stop Tobias Harris. You're going into that game like, all right, we got to figure out how we're stopping Joel Embiid in the post, and what are we doing against ISO Booker?
Well, that makes it easier for him to get his rocks off, though.
That's what I'm saying.
They have to, you know what I mean?
But that's what he's saying. If they're not if you double team, you're kicking it out to somebody. And my X factor in that trade, to be honest, is Otto Porter only because he's on the last year of his contract.
And he's a knockdown shooter
young.
in the corner.
Yeah, he's young. He's definitely young.
So he's about to probably ball so he can get another 30 mil.
Yeah.
He stole Chicago.
Yeah,
But that's what I'm saying, like-
that max deal for that Washington gave.
That's what I'm
They
saying,
had no
like-
choice, but it was a steal.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and at the end of the day, okay, again, you know, with you doubling Joel, who also plays on the perimeter, so sometimes you might not have to do too much doubling because he's going to pull the ball out. You know what I mean? Like,
But that depends on the system. We're going off of Brett Brown's system.
Yeah,
we don't know what Doc's system is there.
I think Doc's gonna make him actually play like he's supposed to play.
If you have four
again,
shooters around him,
for this, but and for
it's
this,
a different team. You got to understand, we're not looking at the team that's lacking space. I'll defend Joel Embiid till I'm blue in the face on the fact that he has to be on the perimeter right
you're
now.
going to die doing that too. Because
No, but what I'm saying is right now, if you look at the construction of that team, he has to be on the perimeter.
Because Ben can't
There's
shoot.
only
Because Ben
been,
can't shoot, yeah, for sure.
But
That's,
I'm
again-
saying even before this season, though, before the
Yeah.
Al Horford, there's always only been one shooter on that team. Because Jimmy Butler, when he was there, I love Jimmy Butler, did great for us, was not a shooter. And there were times he was having a temper tantrum because he was not happy with Brett Brown and refused to shoot. So you're telling me who's shooting? Who's shooting?
JJ
So
Redick at that
JJ
time.
Redick, and he had a great relationship with who? Joel Embiid. They ran their little dribble
Inside out,
handoffs,
for
and
sure.
Joel Embiid had to stay on the perimeter. So everybody loves it, and it's not 1995 anymore, people.
Right.
You
The
are
NBA
going.
has
He
evolved.
has to play around the perimeter. Jokic, everybody was so happy with Jokic. Guess what? Jokic is not in the post every time.
Right.
He runs most of his offense from the high post or from the 3-point line. Joel
But-
Embiid has to do the same.
But that hurt him because when it was time to bang, it put Jokic in a position where
Jokic is not physically dominant like Joel Embiid. There's a completely Jokic is a skill player. Joel Embiid is an athletic marvel who also can do things on the perimeter. Those are different types of players. But what I'm saying is you still have to run modern NBA offenses, which will not allow Joel Embiid to be in the post.
Not
Because
the
he
whole
still
time, but-
was the most efficient post scorer in the league. He was averaging over a point per possession in the post. So you're not doing that by being buns or soft in the
Right.
post like Stephen A. Smith likes to say.
No, I'm
but
not
in the
saying he's-
NBA
I'm not saying
today,
he's soft. I'm just saying he
he
don't play
can't
enough
be
in
in the post as much as it's not 1990s. It's not the Shaq era.
But if you're going to
can't
put
do
shooters
that.
around him, you're going to have to divert that attention.
Yeah. So
if
he'll
you're
be in the
gonna-
post more than he was in the past, probably in this situation.
to live in
But he's
that
also going to be pick and rolling a lot more than he has in the past. We didn't run pick and rolls under Brett Brown. We didn't have we didn't have the perimeter players to do so.
With him getting, cause when you adding Book to that, you're getting that JJ Redick kind of guy where
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
if you
yeah.
do the pick and roll, now you can't.
But who
just
can
drop.
finish at the
That's what I'm
rim?
saying.
Yeah,
So,
like,
Who can finish
so
at
that's
the
what
rim?
I'm saying. Tobias Harris.
But he's
Yeah.
But but I can tell you right now, I can do a 2-4 pick and roll. For those who don't know, that's your shooting guard,
yeah.
power forward.
Right.
So I have a mismatch issue with Tobias Harris, who can handle the ball. Right? He's 6'9", can handle the ball.
6'9", yeah.
Okay, so I'm putting Devin Booker with the ball up top. I'm sending from the corner. I'm sending Tobias Harris on a 2-4 pick and roll.
Right.
Spread the court.
Right.
I put Joel in the short corner.
Right.
Let them go to work. If you switch, now you got a power forward on Devin Booker. You don't want that in this league.
That's how you step
you
on.
got a short,
Hey.
or you got a shooting guard
Hey.
on Tobias Harris, who's
Right.
bigger and can finish around the rim around that guy. Do you see what I'm saying? So if you are equipping him as the tweener forward he is, and now you're weaponizing Tobias Harris.
Yeah.
Instead of Tobias Harris having to be your main cog, he's now a weapon. I would love to see Tobias Harris out of the short roll. Let him either make a quick pass or pull up for his nice little mid range. You know what I'm saying? Like Tobias Harris in that situation is a lot different player than Tobias Harris who this year had to be the secondary ball handler.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I just, you know what I mean? Like, we'll see. Like, I'm getting,
Well,
like,
I mean, and again,
we'll see.
We're saying this, but we're also going off of if they make this trade.
Oh, for sure.
That's what I'm
for sure.
saying. Like, we can't.
But
I'm saying I'm okay with Tobias in this situation.
In this situation,
I'm
for
not
sure.
saying
Yeah,
I'm just
no,
okay
like,
with Tobias
total-
in every
right.
situation.
Yeah, no,
This
I
is
get
like
that, I
the
get that.
perfect situation for him.
For
to
him.
do that.
Yeah. No, I understand that. Yeah.
But I bet
It's
you the
just-
Sixers execs are looking at this like, hold on now, they coming
For
up with
sure.
something.
They can actually, and that's a trade that can actually happen. So I could definitely see that happening. So
So Benson is probably sitting there, probably like, bro,
Ben is
like,
going
he's
to the
not
Warriors,
my GM,
bro.
right?
He's not my
Sadly,
GM.
I love you, man.
They're going to the Warriors.
But no, that was a good one.
That was definitely dope. That was
Can't
definitely
wait till
dope.
next week. So let's go into our last segment, fellas. So
Okay.
then we can go ahead and wrap it up. And that's our new favorite segment, Barbershop Takes, brought to you by Benson Built. So Benson Built, go check them out for the new athletic t-shirts, tanks. They got new biker shorts for women that
Lit.
got pockets. And soon they're dropping new hoodies.
Can't
so
wait.
please be on the
Definitely
lookout
will
for
have some
that.
drip.
Go to www.benson-built.com
Let's go.
and follow them on IG at Benson_built. And let's go to our
remember,
barbershop.
we'll have that one
I know
day.
one day we'll have it under there. So let's do our favorite thing, the
All right, who
barbershop
wants to
takes.
start it off?
I don't want to go first this time.
You go first.
I don't want to go
Oh,
first.
we having me start off?
Yeah,
go ahead.
I was the closer last time. I don't know if I'm ready for this role. All right. So, my hot take for today is going to be brought to you in the world of football.
Okay.
I just played GM in basketball. Now I'm playing GM in the NFL.
All right.
I believe that, one, Dak Prescott is not the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys next year.
Okay.
And two, they draft Trey Lance, not Justin Fields with their pick. So I'm saying that first.
I can see that.
Dak right now deserves the farm, right? He deserves everything that yacht that Jerry drafted from should just be put in Dak's name, right?
Yeah.
Because of you see what that team has become without him.
Yeah.
But logically speaking, paying close to $40 million for Dak or 5 years under control, we talked about that in the last pod, right? So I believe they go there. But I also don't see Justin Fields as the quarterback that would intrigue one Jerry Jones.
I think they're gonna. Yeah.
I
I
would
think they're gonna
see
stay with that.
I would see Trey Lance, who's more. First off, what people don't know is just because he went to North Dakota State, he was perfect last year. As in, he did not throw a single interception on his way to the championship. Didn't throw a single interception.
I get it.
Insane,
I get
right?
it.
So I believe Trey Lance more of the passing type of quarterback that I
Yeah.
think that would intrigue him. And he's also, North Dakota State he went to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's got that down home vibe that I think would really intrigue a Jerry Jones who was a
Yeah.
star at Arkansas.
Yeah.
Where I don't know if Jerry Jones will want a Justin Fields type.
Right.
I'll leave that at that.
Right,
You
right,
can
right.
make whatever assumptions you want, but I'll leave that there.
Right. Okay.
I hope your take happens because that means my take will happen. And with me saying that Dak was going to win the Super Bowl with another team, I know you're sick right now.
Yeah. Put Dak in Minnesota or somewhere. I don't know.
Your take, sir?
All right. I'm
He's so hurt. Sorry, bro.
gonna go to basketball, man. I'm gonna go out on a limb. And say that the Brooklyn Nets don't make the playoffs. I don't think they stay healthy enough.
I can see that.
I could definitely see that. Like,
Kyrie's never healthy, and then
KD,
who's
you don't-
KD gonna be after
yeah,
this?
we don't
Achilles?
know.
We don't
Yeah,
know.
you know
We
what I
don't
mean?
know.
But everybody but again, a lot of people have them as making a ton of noise.
Not just making the playoffs.
I mean,
Yeah.
being
talking
Eastern
chip,
Conference,
yeah.
like they have them going to the chip. So for me,
and it also depends on who are they paying to keep because
To
they're
keep,
going to
yeah.
they're
They're
going
gonna
to
have to
lose.
Joe
Yeah.
Harris a free agent. You know what I'm saying?
Karis LeVert.
Karis LeVert.
He's under contract, but
He's
too many guys want the ball
Oh,
right
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So they gotta really
So
fill out
Dinwiddie-
that. Yeah, they really
and he's
gotta
got
fill
to
out
grow.
that roster.
Karis has got to grow because he's definitely a
how's
wild.
he
Like,
going-
no, that's what I'm saying. Like
He needs
you
the
have to-
ball.
Yeah,
He's
he needs
one
the
of
ball.
them
That's what I'm
cats-
saying.
Like Karis LeVert need to
I
go
need
to the
Karis.
Knicks.
Yeah, I
So
need
then he
Karis
could-
LeVert in a situation where he can be inconsistent.
Right.
And learn how to become consistent.
And learn how to become. I agree with that. So that's my hot take. I feel like I just feel like it's too new. I feel like there are too many variables working against them. Even with the Steve Nash acquisition, it's going to be Steve's first head coaching situation.
Luckily, Mike D'Antoni's there. That'll help.
That's true.
And
Mike
Jacque
D'Antoni.
Vaughn is still on staff. Like,
That's
that
true.
helps.
But
yeah.
they haven't dealt with a KD and a Kyrie.
Two very temperamental guys.
Two very
Especially
temperamental
when
guys.
one of them already said he's not my coach.
Right. And one of them said we
no,
don't
he
need
said,
a coach.
I don't
We
need
don't
a
need. He
coach.
don't need a
Bro,
coach.
you don't say that when you get a brand
I
new
wouldn't
coach,
have been happy.
bro. Like,
I wouldn't have been happy as Steve Nash.
I've been like, bro,
Like,
like
man,
what?
I'd have pulled him in the office like, my guy. Like,
Just shut up.
just shut
Bro,
up.
we didn't have our first practice yet.
just
you
play
already-
basketball.
I didn't even
bro.
tell you the schemes. What are we running? Like, come on.
We haven't done anything.
This
like,
was less than like almost like 48 hours after he got
Yeah,
the
he
job.
got on the podcast and went to talk.
I don't need no coach.
I don't need no coach. Yeah, like
You could be the coach one day. You could be the coach. He could be the coach. No.
No, like Steve Nash is your coach, brother.
Just
Just play ball, Kyrie. If you could just play basketball, just play basketball, bro. Like
He's definitely gonna be one of my rants, bro.
from me to you,
Like,
just
That's what should be.
just
he
show
frustrates
up,
me so much.
show up, put your shoes on, tie your shorts up, tuck your jersey in all nice and neat, and just play basketball, bro. It's not a shut up and dribble thing, but I really just need you to play basketball. You know what I mean?
But
Because
the thing is, he's really nice though. But this
Yeah.
is kind of a
And I
only
agree
because
with
you
some of his takes, but you know,
his
Yeah.
takes aren't that far fetched, but just play
you
basketball.
you gotta pick
But
and
play
choose.
first.
Yeah, play
play
for
first,
like you're a
yeah.
basketball player, bro. Like,
It's
you know what I
cool
mean? Like
drop
you're so
50
much more. But
school, you drop 50 every other month. But what happens to those 4 weeks? You always out, bro.
I need him to lead a team or be. You know what I mean? That's what I need. I need you to lead a team because you can't make some of the remarks that you've made about LeBron being a leader and the things that you said, about,
You can't get kicked from 3 different teams. And
He don't see it that way, though. To be fair, he doesn't see it that way.
he clearly doesn't see it
But-
that way.
That's the power of personality. You know?
Yes.
that's a whole
How you
nother
see
thing.
you is another thing. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
For my take,
Yeah. What you got?
I'm gonna make you so mad. So my take, staying with NBA,
Okay.
is I believe the Sixers. No, I believe they're gonna be in the finals.
Oh wow.
I think.
Don't put that pressure on. No, don't you jinx me like that.
I think the 76ers are
Zoom in
going to
on me
be
right now. I'm so
He's so pissed.
in the finals. Not only that, I think if the game goes to 7, they win it.
I'm about to walk off this stage right here, right now. I love the Sixers. Don't you put that pressure on my Sixers.
Let it be known that is probably the hot take of the year, the rest of the year.
Good
like
luck,
the
boys.
Sixers, the rest of the year, right? We only have 2 months left.
I love them.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Sixers.
We don't have the copyright for that.
Oh yeah, you're right.
We don't
We
have
do
the
not.
copyright
We do
for
not.
that.
We do
They
not.
know.
want to
I don't
get
even
right.
know.
Right.
I don't want to hear it.
They
Okay, is
ain't
what I'm
worried
saying.
about it.
Wow.
that
Sixers
hurt.
win if it goes to 7 games against the Lakers.
Yeah. I do believe Doc will bring them.
Well, on that note,
I have very high regards to on Doc.
I don't see that happening.
Well, guys, this has been a great second episode.
I'm with it right here.
I'm with it,
Pissed him
Sports.
off.
You know, make sure you follow us on social media.
For those
Follow
that
us
can't
on
see,
YouTube.
Antonio's head is about to explode.
I'm not about to
right
explode
now.
at all. This was a great episode.
It's a
I had
great-
nothing but fun with y'all. I can't wait till we do
Oh,
it again.
man.
I'm excited about the stuff we got coming up.
Follow us on Instagram at Aurum_entertainment.
Yeah, what he said.
Shout out to Jam 24/7 again.
Thank you, Jam. I'm not gonna tear y'all stuff up. I'm gonna go in the car and tear some stuff up.
He gonna cuss in the car, I promise.
Please go check out Jam 24/7 at www.jam247sound.com.
Let's go.
If all hearts and minds are clear,
Man.
we'll see y'all next time. Love, peace, we out.
I thought he was gonna say in hair grease, but we out.
Oh,
Clear.
Peace.